Hey, everybody. Welcome to WitchLab Wednesday Live. I'm your host, Tiffany Boggins. Today is July 14th, 2021. Thank you for joining me. Tonight, my guest is Elhoim Leafar, the author of this amazing book, Manifestation Magic, 21 Rituals, Spells, and Amulets for Abundance, Prosperity, and Wealth. And I got to tell you, I read the book. I really enjoyed it. We're going to talk all about it in depth. Because, you know, when you hear those words, they kind of all group together. He has an amazing way of really differentiating them and seeing how each one plays an important role. We'll get there, though. So right now, I'd like to take a quick minute and share the video. So I'm going to share it from the WitchLab page real quick. And you guys can too, if you want to. You don't have to. But it's a nice thing to do because we are here to support our community, right? We're here to get everybody on board. And, you know, as Ivo Dominguez says, those first 8 weeks are most important in your book. So we're going to help Elhoim out and promote this a little bit more. So, you know, if you want to share it to your page, that's cool too. Let's see. I'm having trouble doing it. It's actually going to make me, you know, as Ivo Dominguez said. Nope, it's just going to start playing it live and I can't do it. But you guys can do it. So if you can share it while you're watching it, that'd be great. Okay, so let's see. Stuff that's going on right now in the shop and things. So what's news? We have lifted the mask requirements at the shop. Masks are completely optional. Unless you're not fully vaccinated, then you have to wear a mask. But, you know, like everyone's been saying, we're not checking cards or anything. So, you know, it's kind of an honor system, but there's also no mask shaming. So if you want to wear a mask in, cool, man. I think that's great. How many of us did not get sick last winter, even from a cold, because we wore masks everywhere? So masks are not a bad idea in general. We no longer have the 8-person limit, so no more lines. That's cool. WitchLab is coming up on its 10-year anniversary. Not as the brick and mortar. The brick and mortar's been open just under 3 years, but as the business that I started, you know, 10 years ago. It's coming up in about 11 days as the official, when I went legal LLC WitchLab. So that's pretty cool. Take my staff out and do something fun. Upcoming stuff. So we have our monthly meetings that we always talk about. Circle the Dark Mother is always on the first Sunday of every month. So that falls on August 1st. And you can find that on the events page of the WitchLab Facebook page. WitchLab Book Club, Cultum Librorum. The July book is Rebel Witch by Kelly Ann Maddox. And August's is Backwoods Witchcraft by Jake Richards. And those meetings are usually on the last Sunday of every month. And I am just going to go ahead and share that group right now because trying to find it is kind of a nightmare. I don't know why. I don't know why Facebook makes it so difficult to find things, but sometimes I can't even find the groups I'm in. So there it is. You can apply, answer the questions. They're really simple, and that'll get you in. And then you can hang out with all those cool people who actually read the book. Well, hopefully they read the book. Let's say some hi's to people. Betty, hi, how's it going? Christina, Avi, it's good to see you again. Michelle Snyder, good to see you. Sonia, let's see, Bobo, Jason, Sarah, Laura, hey guys. Laura, I was just asking if people could share the video that they're watching to their own page. And if you can't, that's okay. If you don't want the world to know you watch a WitchLab page, that's okay too. I get it. Like, you know, we can't all be safely out of the closet, broom closet or other closet. Leah, hi. I'm just highlighting people's, you know, whatever. You guys didn't even see, I actually had to start the show twice tonight. For those of you who noticed, I started at 8:32. When I went to go try to share it the first time, it wasn't even on because I never actually hit go live. So I fixed it. We're live now. We're good. You know, sometimes technical difficulties with live stuff is fun. I don't have like a crew or like writers or anybody. It's really just me remembering to hit all the buttons at the right time. And yes, that was my romper room entry. Hi, everyone. Hello. It's great to see you. Hi, Adam. Thanks. This is my great lighting. You know what my trick is? It's a grow light. That's a grow light. And then slacker. That's me. That's a grow light. This light here is actually a one of those big crystal like selenite lamps. That lights that side of my face. And this is just a light with a piece of paper over it that lights this side of my face. That's my high-tech lighting that I do. Avi says, I'm shocked that the shop is 3 years old. How did I miss this amazing store when I was in Ohio? Oh, well, you should definitely visit just for WitchLab. And we have so many in-person things coming up starting in September that I'm very excited about. And yeah, I will be 3 years old this December. So we're getting there. Okay, right, back to upcoming stuff. Let's see. Moving this over so I can see it better. Okay, so we talked about the monthly stuff, Circle the Dark Mother meeting. I'm not sure what the meeting's about this month, but if Mark tunes on, I'm sure he will tell us. Or if anyone sees Mark tune on, ask him to tell us. Mark Williams, that is. I don't see him just yet. But he'll let us know what the topic is this month. So July 28th, the end of this month, I have Brian Cotnoir coming on to talk about his new book, Practical Alchemy. August 4th, we've got Courtney Weber to talk about Hecate, her new book. Always exciting. Sunday, August 22nd, Secrets of Spellcasting, a workshop with Judica Illis. For tickets, you can go to, actually, you know what? I've got a link right here. I'm going to put that on there too. You don't have to go there now, but it'll be there if you go back and look at it later. So this, if you want to go to Judica Illis' class, which is selling a lot of tickets so far, which is so sweet. What is next? Okay, the in-person stuff starts with the first weekend. So there's talk of Byron Ballard in September, but I haven't had any confirmation or anything like that yet. That's the rumor. The first weekend in October, Najah Lightfoot will be at WitchLab in person to teach a class. We don't know what. For those of you who don't remember, she wrote Good Juju. She also taught the WitchLab class Light the Fucking Candle. It's one of my favorite classes. But she will be here. On October 6th, Kobe Michael will be on the show. So on the WitchLab live show. And then October 8th, so 2 days later, he's driving here to teach a class, Poison Path, in conjunction with his book coming out that week, Poison Path Herbal. Very excited. What else? Oh, and just today, friends, Ivo Dominguez Jr. is going to be here December 4th, I believe it is. We don't know what the class is yet, actually, I think he's going to be doing a talk and possibly a book signing, but I'll have more details soon. Very excited. I love him. And the other rumor that I have is for November, I hear Mortellus may be coming to Ohio. And if Mortellus comes to Ohio, she's coming to WitchLab. We all know that. Mortellus and I are like that. It's true. Okay, so how about we get our guest out here, shall we? This man, he is an astrologer, a dowser, a traditional shaman, as well as an author, blogger, and a regular columnist for various national and international publications where he writes about neo-paganism, witchcraft, astrology, motivation, and spirituality. His books include Wicca, Love and Soul, Rites of Happiness, Flowers from the River, Magical Art of Crafting Charm Bags, which has been on my shelf for a long time, and I didn't even know this was the same guy until I looked it up, because I was like, I love that book. This is one of my reference books. So, Ye Old Yule Lore, which is a tongue twister, I know, and the newest one, Manifestation Magic: 21 Rituals, Spells, and Amulets for Abundance, Prosperity, and Wealth. And from what I hear, he is one of the loveliest and kindest souls you will ever meet. Friends, allow me to introduce Elhoim Leafar.
Hi, good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you, Tiffany, for the introduction. Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here. This makes me very happy. Yeah, so a strange thing, I chose your book. Aaron from Wiser had sent me a list of things, and I chose your book because of the cover. Because I didn't have time to read every one, because actually I didn't have access to most of the books she sent me. So I just picked it. And then when I started doing research on you and realized that you had written The Magical Art of Crafting Charm Bags, I felt like, as Ivo Dominguez says, follow your instincts, right?
Thank you. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Um, oh, truly the most brightest light in the community and so humble. Love Elohim. Oh,
Thank you, Abby.
that's so sweet, Avi. So I
So,
want to I want to get into your book. I have so many questions, but I want to start. I want to start at the beginning. I want to start at the preface. You talk about the preface is very short, and it's this beautiful little story about you coming to New York in 2015 with very few possessions, very little money, very little English language under your belt, and off you went. Can you talk about that? Did you come here specifically to write?
no, I started writing, thanks for the question. I started writing in 2013 when I was working with a publisher in Venezuela. Um, when I come here was for other reasons, but for most personal political reasons, things like that.
Okay.
But a lot of things happened when I was coming. Everybody told me that the United States is a complicated place when you are new, especially when you don't know the language. I know that. I know that. And but I have a good feeling. And I made a lot of consultations and readings with my friends, and everybody was like, "I know that you have fear, and everybody's telling you to don't go, but you will have a very good omen in there. So continue trying." I come, and it's total. Some people think that it's like a clickbait that I say that I come with few possessions. That is, I just did it for the marketing, but no, it's true. Actually, I am very inside social media, and if, I always say to my friends or the followers or the readers, look at me on my Facebook or Instagram. Around 2015, you will not find many pictures because I really come with no much clothes. So every time that I took a selfie was with the same clothes. So I feel some shame sometimes, like, oh, I don't want to share the same picture, the same clothes in every picture in every corner of the city. When I was coming in the migration in my country, in Venezuela, they take all the possessions that I have, the money, the laptop, the things. So I just come literally with $15 that I received that day. I arrived in Atlanta with $15 and I made the transfer to New York. And I come to New York with $15. I was like, okay, now I need literally to start from zero. But I did it. I work a lot of time. I work in factories. I work in restaurants. I sleep in a plaza for many nights in a winter, selling charm bags in the street. That was difficult, but I continue trying, and I think that I did in a very good way. I find many new amazing people around who was always inspiring me, pushing me, and continue telling me you need to try, you need to continue because this is good, and now I feel very well. So when I tried to write this book. I was writing many books at the same time. But in 2019, I started to have many clients who called me to go to their stores to write in the sales and this kind of thing. And so I, in some way, specialize in that in money magic for stores and locals and shops. Uh, I started to give many classes about it. So I think, okay, people need to work a little more on this. So I have some ideas. Let me try to write down all of this for a class. And when I noted was so much material that my editor said, we can do a book on this. And I did it. And works very well.
The book. So it started with you helping other businesses. That's interesting. Like you going and doing like money magic and stuff for them.
Yes, because in my country, I studied marketing. So that was literally my one reference. The two things that I know to do when I go for a job was I know marketing and I know magic. That's are my two things. So I work for this little agency with my friends in New York. They don't have too much to pay me, but they pay me with everything that they can. They give me clients, and every time that I go to a local or with a new client, doing the marketing campaign, I was like, you try to do this thing, and they were like, this is magic, this is spell work. Yeah, this is magic, but works very well. You need to try this. For example, I have this blend of oils that you put in your ads in the paper. So you give these ads to the people in the street, so they will back to you because it's a magnet oil. I try all of these kind of things, and every time, it's like when you discover that you have some kind of talent, that you are good for something, like, oh, this is the first time that I'm using this musical instrument, but I am doing very well. Every time that someone refuses the things that I say about magic or about money, I always have something to say. I always have, like, I feel like I have a good argument in that. Usually I try to listen to other people, but in those moments I feel like, no, this is something that I really know. So let me guide you, and if this don't work, I take the responsibility. Every time the clients confide in me and they trust in me, and this works very well, so they continue calling me, and they were like, I need that you come back here, I need that you do a cleansing in the place, I need that you offer classes for me, I need that you create a new amulet for me. So this whole expertise, I try to put all of this in a class. I was planning to offer a class for some stores, but was a very big class. When I sit down to write all the argument for the class, was so much information. I started to think, okay, maybe this can be like a seminar of 2 days, but people will be bored. I go to a seminar for just listening this one person. So maybe I try to put all of this in different chapters, and in the end, this and being a whole book with all the concepts.
That way.
Yes, I mean, was too much information, and I think that in some way was so much experience. I come from a very poor family, or very poor level of 10 persons living in an apartment with just one restroom and just one room. That level of poor. We always have these fights about money, about abundance, because this is the thing that I call the bypass. Everybody in the family, they are spiritual workers and they are healers, and it's like the tradition of the family. Everybody in family works in these things. So everybody has this cheat, this mindset, like, because we are spiritual, we don't need money. So every time that you ask, that you are like, I don't have money for the rent, I don't have money for the food, I don't have money for the college, I don't have money for the clothes. Everybody, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your dad, your sisters, everybody comes with the same argument. Oh, but we are spiritual, we don't need that. We have faith, we have health, we are good, but in the end of the day, you are doing the line for the emergency room because you don't have money for paying insurance, or you are practically begging for money because you don't have money for the rent. This kind of situation, and I grew up struggling with that because I grew up in Amazon, in the tribes, and after some time they moved me to the city. And when you go to the city, the impact is too much emotionally, because you go to this place where you have buildings, you have school, you have police, you have fire workers, and this kind of it's too much. It's too much when you're a children, and you see the money moving around. So you understand, being a child, that money, you like it or not, and whatever your father say or not, money rules the world in some way. So I think that it's more convenient if you have it like a friend. So an exercise that I do with my clients is try to take money like like your best friend. Imagine that money is not money. Put a different name on it. Imagine that money is Alexander, and I go to call money Alexander or Abby. So I say, Abby is my friend. Abby's always there. Abby's every morning there. Abby call me every morning. Every time that I call Abby respond me. If I want to go to the market, Abby's in there. Sorry. So when you're starting to work with money like it's a friend, you're starting to have a better relationship. It's better than when you are always saying money is bad, money is wrong, money is evil, money is the devil, I don't want money, I don't need money in my life. You are literally saying, especially if you are a witch, if you are a magical worker, you are saying that you don't want that. So this energy will be out. And I understand that money in the end is energy. Because in the books we are always saying love is energy, is magic. Protection, you need to work with the protection of the energy of protection. Gods are energy, spirits are energy. Science, scientific, I mean, you read any book of science and everybody says that all the universe is practically energy, in different ways of energy. But when we speak about money, we take the bypass. No, that's not energy. You can work with that because money will corrupt you. So we have a whole taboo around money. So I just try to break down that taboo in the magical community. Like, sorry, it's a nervous.
It's okay.
Like, if you are working with magic, if you want to have one store in your future, if you want to ask for more money in your work, you can do it. But we have this taboo that we can't speak about money because we are spiritual and we don't need it. It's something that I try to put in the book.
How old were you when they moved you to the city?
How old? Wow.
You changed.
28, 29. I come in 2015.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you moved to a city like in Venezuela, but you're saying you just like
When I moved to the city in Venezuela, I was 11.
Okay.
I was in the tribe, very close to the Orinoco River in Amazon. Orinoco River is this, it's like this duct of water that travels around Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela. It's a connection between all the countries. I grew up in there, and when I was 11, they moved me to the city because my mom wanted that I has more normal education, go to the school, something more normal. But also it has a lot of sisters, so it was complicated because was moving a whole family to the city. So we moved from a very small house with 2 rooms to a little apartment with just one. And we were, in that moment, 10 persons. So
wow.
would you put 10 people in a little apartment with just 1 room and literally 1 restroom? Was very complicated.
Sure. That sounds very challenging.
Yes.
So you were talking about your relationships with money, and this is something I wanted to talk to you about. You address this as a tricky subject because there is a lot of shame associated with wanting to have money, right? Because like you were saying, well, being spiritual is enough, having your faith is enough, stuff like that. But I think that people want it, but they also feel bad about wanting it, so there's shame there. But we all know that having it makes life a whole lot easier. So how do you suggest people get over their negative feelings about money?
This is an exercise that I started doing it in 2019 when I was here in New York, because for some moments I was struggling with that also with the situation, because I think that too much social media, when you're in social media so much, is a lot of things that come to your mind. So I started to feel like, oh, people is watching me, so people is judging the things that I'm doing, and they speak too much about money, about abundance. So I will look superficial because we grow up saying that, oh, people who has money is millionaires and they are superficial. We grow up saying this kind of thing. So if you win the lottery tomorrow, immediately you pass to be a bad person. Don't care if you are kind, if you are gentle, if you really work very hard every day and you continue working with having money, you are a bad person because you have money. So we have that argument in the community. Mm-hmm. So I made an exercise that now I put in the book. The exercise is very easy. It's something that I always recommend to everybody of my colleagues and witches and my coven when they say that, oh, but money is superficial and it's nasty, it's dirty. So make a list, take a paper, take a pen, sit down, put music if you want, prepare a tea or a wine, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Sit down and try to write down 21 things that you think that you have in your mind about money, and write also 21 things that you have in your mind about magic. So I started my list. Money is a bad thing. Money corrupt the people. Money corrupt your friends. People with money don't have friends. People with money is bad. People with money don't have soul. Blah, 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 blah. You put all those things. With magic, they say magic is real, magic is not real, magic is wild, magic is diabolic, is satanic, whatever. After you make all of that, and I know it's a lot of work, so you can start with 11 if you don't have the time to do 21. But when I suggest people, you can try to do 11, they continue doing the list. And sometimes they call me back and say, 21, I mean, I need to do much more than that. It's not enough. When you end the list, read it, and now write down below every line why you think that. And people say to me, oh, money is bad. Why money is bad? oh, well, money is bad because money corrupts the people. No, you put that in the other line, that money corrupts the people. That is the second line. So why do you think that money corrupts the people and money is bad? Well, because when people has money, well, I listen and my mom says that when people has money, they change. You know someone that really changed because they has money? No. So you just have that fear that someone else put in your mind. So I have this uncommon term that I like to say that we have a lot of garbage in our minds. What is garbage? Garbage is something that you have in your home that is not useful in any possible way. That don't give you any feeling, that don't make you feel empowered or useful. It's just something that you have in there and you don't know why you have it, but it's in there. And you want to throw out this sofa or this chair? No, but it's broken. Yeah, but no, but it reminds you something? No, I just don't want to put out. Someone else put that chair in there and I want to keep it. So that chair is garbage. In our minds, it's the same. You go to pass most time that you think in your mind every day for the rest of your life. You will pass so much time in your mind. So try to keep your mind clean and try to make it a comfortable place because you will pass a lot of time in there, in the day and in the night. So try to put out all the garbage that you have in there. And many times you have a lot of garbage that someone else put in there. Not because they are bad people, because sometimes a lot of this garbage comes from our fathers. Not because they are bad people, but because this was the way how they learned, because they didn't knew better. So they just repeat the same traumas, the same things that their father says to them. Oh, if you want to be happy in this life, you need to have a car. Because if you don't have a car, you are not a successful person. You need to be married. Because if you are not married, you are not a successful person. And you need to be successful so the rest of your family will see you. So if the rest of your family admire you and envy you, you are a successful person. But for that, you need to have a home, you need to have a car, you need to have this employment, this job being a lawyer or a teacher or a soldier, because anything else is enough good, because they grew up with the same trauma. Our fathers come from the traumas of the First War, the Second War, the Civil War. They grew up in a very complicated system. They grew up having troubles with money over and over. So they have a lot of fear that people repeat the same standards. So they try to put so many precautions in our minds that in the end, we have the same fear. But we don't have the experience that they have. We just have the fear. Oh, I can't do that because my mom tell me don't do it. But you tried that before? No, but my mom says no, and my mom knows better. And sometimes they not exactly know better. They just know something because it's a very limited experience for them. For example, for my mom was in a very complicated family. She was practically the outcast because all my uncles and aunties, they are a little, they have a different color of skin.
Okay.
This is the native people of the tribe. And my grandma is a Guayu. She's a Guayu tribe in Orinoco. But my grandpa is Turkish. And he just had my mother with my grandpa. The rest of the children come from a different father. My mom was always the outcast in home. So she grew up with everybody telling her, you are not a successful person, you look different. She struggled all her life. So she put the same fear, the same trauma on me. So I grew up repeating the same standards. And when I noted, I was like, okay, I have a lot of things in my mind, a lot of fear, a lot of traumas that don't belong to me. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, money is dirty. So I remember when I was saying this to my nephew, my nephew was telling me, my nephew is autist. He's an autistic person. So I consider him a very smart person because they are pretty smart. When they say something, you need to catch what they are saying. And my autistic nephew say, Uncle, why my grandma always say, wash your hand when you come to the market? I say, well, because you take the money and the money comes from different hands, everybody's taking it. And he immediately said, oh yeah, money is dirty. So immediately I relate that, wow, we grow up saying over and over, wash your hands every time that you take money because money is dirty. And it was like, wow, my nephew is a genius. And it's true, we grow up saying that, oh, you come from the market, you take the bill, so put the bills in there, say the bills now, wash your hand because the money is dirty. You don't know who touched the money before you. It has a lot of bacteria and germs and viruses. You need to clean your hands because money is dirty and money is nasty. So we put a lot of weight on the money. And in the end, we need it. We needed to pay the rent, we needed to buy our food. if you are a very good person, if you are very kind, you want to support a foundation that is very important for you, a foundation that helps children or help people with cancer, or a foundation that helps to fight AIDS, or a foundation that helps dogs in the streets, these kind of things, you need money. You don't go to save the world with hugs. We want it, but we are in a physical world, and it's very important that we are always repeating, oh, we are a spiritual being just living a temporal physical experience. Yeah, that's true, but that temporal experience, try to take all the advantage in there, in that little piece of time, and for that, wherever you like it or not, you need the money, because money is how we are ruling the world. Not because money is bad or it's the monarchy. It's just the way how we make the transactions. You are doing a transaction. I give you something, you give me something. It's so simple like that. So try to take all the fear, all the trauma of money, and just take it like a friend. You know, money is my friend. You have a very good relation with money. Yeah, money is my friend. I love money, and money loves me, and we are always together. I want marry with money. Something like that. Try to work with that, and try to take out all the taboos related. And people will tell you that you are crazy. People will tell you that this is superficial, but you don't need to be a superficial person to have money. You can continue being the same person, being humble, but having a little extra money in your pocket, and rest very well every night because you know that you have the money for your rent, that you are helping your fathers who are in another country, and you are sending them food every day. So you rest very well because you have the food, and you have the money in your side, because you take money like a friend, not like something bad in your life.
I think that what you're saying is so important, because people, they do have these these notions that have been handed down to them, and they're in society, that if you like money, you're selfish, and that you're a bad person. It wasn't until I read Jason Miller's Financial Sorcery, and I took his class, and he was very adamant about the relationship with money. That's very important, but also that to that if you start feeling like you're being selfish because you want money, start thinking it in the ways of like, this is for your family. This is, and in my case, this is for my employees and their families, for them all to thrive. I don't want the shop to do well just so that I can buy a boat or something. It's so that my kids can be happy and comfortable, and that my employees can be happy and comfortable. And, and you kind of ripple out from there. Because I think that's the biggest problem, is people feel guilty, they feel shame, they feel selfish because they've been told that for so long. So besides money, you talk about abundance and prosperity. And I absolutely love what you said about prosperity being present when you are in balance.
Yes, this is the thing. I was talking about this last Sunday with my friend. We were in a little meeting, and they were talking about hoodoo and voodoo, and why we do 3, 5, 7, all this in par numbers always. We were talking about it, and I was saying to them, because in voodoo and hoodoo, and in Santeria and Lukumi, in this Afro-Caribbean tradition, we have the perception that you don't heal people, you don't fix things, you just try to wave the energy in there. It's like you are waving, you are fixing, you are not creating anything, because everything in the universe is created. It's in there. You are just moving the energy in a different way.
Right.
When something happens and you need to use magic for that, because you feel unloved, because you feel people is unkind with you, because you feel that people is throwing you away, because you feel that someone needs help, this person is sick, this person is without hope, and I need to fix that situation. You don't fix it, because nothing is broken. It's just malfunctioning in some way, so you try to wave the energy with your magic in there. Prosperity is like that. It's trying to put everything in balance. I remember when I was taking this seminar in science in astronomy and astrophysics here in New York, they were talking that all the elements in the universe exist from the day one. They are just changing and transmuting, but they are existing in the same one. In any moment of the day, just the universe say, oh, here a new element. This is now, I don't know, blue gold from Mars. No, that element is in there. It's just transmuting and changing in different ways. But the element is in there. It's nothing new. In magic and metaphysics, is the same. You are not creating anything. You are just doing alchemy. You are just transmuting things in different ways. The universe is always trying to have a balance. The universe is in perfect balance. The universe has dark matter, also has stardust, has planets, has black holes. It's trying to always have a balance. When you feel that you don't have prosperity in your life, that is just a very small reflection of a little mistake that is happening in the universe. Something happens in your life. I don't know, your father were very poor, you grow up in this system with all those traumas, with lack of opportunities, so you never try to look in a different way. I grew up in that system. And I was so tired of has hunger every day. I was so tired to make these big lines for the food every day that I just say one day, I can live it. I can live here. I can more. I can't resist that. And people say, oh, it's because you don't have more opportunities in your country. I say yes, and I continue trying, and it was impossible. When I finally accept, put my arrogance outside, and say, okay, it's real. It's not opportunities in my country. I go to a different place. And we grow up in a system where you say always to people, if you born here and you grow up here, you can go out of here. So people who grow up in a complicated system that is against them many times because they are minorities or something, and they struggle to have a decent life, they are starting to have this lackness of abundance or prosperity in their lives because probably the opportunities in there, but they have fear to take it. Maybe someone comes to say to your friend who is struggling with money, oh, you know, I have this better opportunity for job in my department, but they are moving to a different city. So if you want to come with me, and your friend says, no, I can't go there because I can let my family, I can let, I don't know, my nephews, I can let my sister, I can do something like that, I can let all my family because we put everyone else before us. We do that. So you continue struggling with abundance. It's the same with the universe. The universe is trying always to fix the things. So I have so much matter here, so let me just to put a black hole in there and absorb some matter. With prosperity, it's the same. It's an imbalance that you have in your life. So you just need to try not to fix it because it's not broken. You just need to try to weigh the energy in a different way. So why I don't have money in my life? Why I don't have abundance in my life? Why I don't have prosperity in my life? Why the things are not coming in this way? Because many times the energy, the prosperity, the gifts of your God, goddess, angel, whatever is the name that you prefer to put in there, they are trying to send all of these gifts to you, but you are like, I don't want it because I have fear to receive it. We do that all the time. And we need to open our arms and from time to time just trust that the universe knows better than our fathers. We need to trust that is a bigger force in there that is trying to save us of all the things that we are suffering in this moment. Just try to let it go all these traumas, let it go all this fear, let it go all of these bad standards that we have in our mind. So let me just relax, let me just open my arms, let me just trust that something is coming, and let me try to don't resist the change. Because when you're starting to resist, that's the problem. People resist the change. When you're starting to resist, like, I don't go to change, I don't want this, I try to resist. If you resist too much, you will broke. You need to try to be flexible. You need to try to accept all the things coming to you. The universe is trying to help you in many ways. You go to the stores and you find these amulets, or you find this book, or you find that this person is offering a class. And for example, I offer these classes for money magic, or about orishas, or candomblé, or whatever. And people, oh, I find your class, and they want to go to the class, and it has the money, but I have another priority in this moment. Okay, I don't have any problem. Then the people is like, but you know, it's not like a priority, but I have fear because I just have, I don't know, imagine that the class is $200, for example, and this person has $500 in the bank account. But you pay your rent? Yes. You pay your car? Yes. You pay for your food? Yes. You have a work? Yes. So what you go to do with these $500 that you have in your bank account that you can pay for the class, that it will probably help you a lot? Oh, you know, it's because if something happens.
Fear.
Exactly, it's the fear because we don't have a real argument, so we need to create the situation of if something happened, I need to be prepared. In the moment, if you are an energy worker, if you are a magic worker, if you are a witch, in the moment that you say if something happens, believe me, something will happen. Because you just confuse that. You just put all your fear in there, and you are feeling all that situation with your fear. And the situation will come for you because you are a magnet and you are putting something in the universe. I put this situation here because something will happen. I feel that way, and the situation will come for me because I am the magnet of the situation. I create the situation, and this will come back to me because it's mine.
because it's what you're worried about, because it's what's on
Exactly.
your mind.
Exactly.
And you attract that thing. You attract like vibrations. The thing that resounded with me after reading your book, and I feel like you say it over and over in wonderful ways, but basically that abundance, prosperity, and money are all energies, and
Yes.
you are a conduit for those energies, whether you like it or not. And you can be closed or you can be open to accept them and try to move them and bring the good parts to you.
I like to. This is another exercise that I like to do, especially. I am Capricorn. My partner is Virgos. It's a lot of air energy here. So sometimes so much air in home that we need to try to change something, and sometimes he has a very complicated work being an engineer. So he comes very stressful of the work every day, and it's plans and maths and numbers and the structures and buildings and the stuff. And he comes very stressful, and I always play with him like try to put a filter, like Instagram. When you put a filter, try to put a filter in there that is just positive things. Oh, I come so tired of the work, but you have a work in New York City, literally in the Big Apple, where everybody wants to have a job, and you are an immigrant, and you have a legal work, and you are receiving payment for the things that you literally study in the college. A lot of people go to the college and never ends. A lot of people end the college and never apply the knowledge that it has in there. You have all of this, so just try to put a filter. Put the name that you want in the filter. Put the color that you want. This blue, and you say, "Oh, this is my filter of gratefulness," or my filter of positivism, or my filter of smiley face. Just put a filter in there, and it's literally like the filters of Instagram. It's the same picture with a different filter. It's the same situation. It's the same reality. But let me try to see the situation from a different side. When my family called me, "Oh, but you are there. You have 6 years in there. We don't see you, and we miss you so much, and we don't know when you will come back." Yeah, but I'm sending you food. I'm sending you clothes. You have money for the insurance. You have money to pay the home. You have. I buy a new home to my sister staying here. So all of these things is for this sacrifice that I made. So try just to put a different filter. It's the same situation, but just let me try to see the positive things. I'm not saying that you ignore the negative things. I'm just saying if you feel more comfortable with the situation, you can find a solution. But if you just throw down yourself in the corner, oh my life is so sad. I don't have opportunities. I don't have job. If I go out, I don't go to find it. You are manifesting exactly that.
Yes. Yes. I tell people this all the time.
Exactly. You don't go to fix anything crying in the corner. You don't go to fix anything. You want to cry? Okay, go to the corner, take 5 minutes, put
You
the
can cry for
door,
5 minutes.
cry
Everybody
for five
can cry.
minutes, and after 5 minutes, go change your makeup and go to find a new job. Go to find a new life. Go to find a new boyfriend. Go to do something. But don't pass all the day, oh, I go to eat ice cream and stuff, watching TV shows, because it's not helpful. It's like, for example, I have this friend who suffered depression, and he's amazing, and he said, "Oh, but you think that being positive is just that?" Yeah, I know, but you're thinking your medicines. No, you have a solution in there. You have your medicines. You feel depressed. Your doctor to give you the medicines. I'm here to give you the medicines. So you have the opportunity in your hands. I know that you don't want it, but it's a way to see the life in a different way. And when you feel more comfortable, you can go out, find a job, and you continue being the same person. Just taking something that will help you in a different way. Because always we need to accept the help that come from out. Sometimes the help will come in ways that we don't like it, but continue being help, and we need it. You can be alone in the world and trying to accept and change the world and adjust the world to your way, because this don't go to work, because it's so many people in this world trying to manifest a new reality in the same time. So you can adjust the world to the view of everyone else. You need to try to adapt to yourself to this world and try to see it in a positive way.
I think that it's been said before that the difference between people who are happy and unhappy is literally perspective.
Yes,
A happy person could see the same situation that somebody else is, utterly unhappy and could just, can see the good in it. Perspective is everything, right? Like if you can get to a point where you can see the good parts and find joy in your life, then you can let go of the negativity and the sadness. But there's a lot of people who they live their life bitching, they live their life.
Yes.
They list the things that happened to them that day because they want to revel in it, because our brain gives us chemical treats for doing the thing we do most. So if the thing you do most is bitch and complain, you're going to get chemical treats. You're literally getting addicted to the brain drugs when you complain. And that's, but as we know as witches, that's bringing that to us. It's bringing more negativity to us besides having brain treats.
Exactly. You're manifesting everything that you're saying. You're manifesting everything that you're thinking. So just try, like I said before, try to clean your mind. Oh, I have so many negative thoughts in my mind. Perfect. Try to imagine a bag. Try to put all of these thoughts in the bag and try to put the bag out with the garbage. And try to see what else you have in your mind.
One of my favorite things in the book. So I know that there's the 21 rituals, but then there's the little magical gift just for you, where you give us 8 more.
Yes.
And I love them. I think some of my favorite ones are in there. Simple ritual to let go of sadness. So you're not just saying, don't be sad. You're actually saying, no, here's an exercise to help you to not be sad.
I suffered anxiety all my life. I lost my brother when I was very young, and I suffered anxiety all my life. So when people look at me in social media, oh, he's so every time happy. I don't have my family close. I am in a different country. I started to learn English barely 2 years ago. I passed 3 years working in factories. Believe me, that was not very helpful. No, was a very nice situation, especially in the government that we had in that moment. Being an immigrant was a very stressful situation. I was overwhelmed of anxiety and sadness every day. But this moment I go just to throw myself because when life puts you in the corner, you have 2 options: stay in the corner or move from the corner. And when you are maybe in your home and you feel a little anxiety or feel sadness or everything, but I continue being in my home. I don't have that opportunity. I am outside. So if I don't work, I need to go out because I need to pay my taxes every year. Being an immigrant, I need to pay everything. I need to pay my immigration. I need to pay my lawyers. I need to pay my paperwork. I need to pay for all of that. So if I just go to sit down and cry myself all day, I just will end crying. And the next morning when I feel better, oh, well, I don't take the work yesterday because I was feeling bad. Now I lost my job. So was helpful? Stay all day crying? No, it was helpful. So sometimes that's my Capricorn side. Sometimes I am very cynic. And I like it when you don't have time to cry. And I say that to my partner. Sometimes my partner says to me, oh, but if you want to stay home, I feel bad, I feel terrible, but I need to go to work because nobody go to pay my things for me. I need to go to work. And tomorrow I will feel better.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a bath. Sometimes you just need a bath to feel
it's very helpful. And there's magical baths everywhere. You can put some oils, you can put some flowers and feel better. Put some perfume in there.
I forget about that until I do it. So first off, I forget about baths entirely. And I know that's crazy because I'm a witch and I actually design baths for people. It's not until my partner comes to me and he's like, do you want me to run you a bath? And I'm like, oh God, that's a thing. And then I forget that you can put scents in that. And then when it fills the bathroom and it's heavenly and it does exactly what I needed to do. But sometimes we forget that we have tools to help us and they're right there. We just forget that they exist. I've actually written down, because like at one point I had found this magical recipe to clean my house, which was watching Hoarders, smoking a little weed, and literally putting a load of laundry in front of me. And that's where it starts. And I'd actually, because I'd done it a couple of times, so I'm like, man, I cleaned the whole house. This is amazing. So I wrote it down. I'm like, don't forget that this is how you can kickstart yourself to clean the house. And, and I have my partner to remind me that baths exist, which is sweet. But I think that sometimes we forget how to pull ourselves up out of it if we don't have those tools almost memorized.
And now that you mentioned it, cleansing is always helpful and it's always important when you are in witchcraft or sorcery or voodoo or any way of magic. Cleansing is where you start to do everything because you can't bring something new. You are full of all the stuff that is useless for you. You need to clean your home. You need to clean your mind. You need to clean your aura. You need to clean your altar. I am very bored. Let me clean my altar. Let me move the pieces. Let me move my tarot deck from one place to another. Let me, I don't know, clean the bottles. Let me try to clean everything in home. So when you are doing that, you feel more relaxed. You put some music. In the end of the day, you are tired of, oh, now I see how much space I have in my home. It smells clean and makes me feel better. So I can do a little ritual here. You're starting in that, you just try to start with the cleansing, and the cleansing will bring everything else.
It's amazing what it does. It's amazing how much it lightens things.
I need to take advantage of this to make the question because I don't make you any question. I know that the interview is for me, and this is not the protocol, but I like to break the protocols. So you're celebrating 10 years. Tell me more.
Wait, say that last part again.
You are celebrating 10 years of WitchLab.
I'm sorry, for the first time, I don't understand what you're saying.
You are celebrating 10 years of WitchLab.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Yes, celebrating 10 years of WitchLab. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, 10 years, right? It's amazing. I started after my third child was born, and I just decided to switch my focus to what had always been my hobby, which was witchcraft. It was I guess not a hobby, but it was what I did personally. And I just decided that it was time to do a shop, and that was 3 years ago. So yeah, 10-year business owner. Look at
That's
me.
great. Congratulations. And you have the store, you have this space where you bring other people and you make that other people come and hang out and feel nice. In the end of
It's
the day, it's
wonderful.
amazing. It's magic.
It is magic, and now that we can have in-person things again, because that was a huge part of our. It was. I mean, before I opened the shop, WitchLab existed in my basement, and I had classes there. So I was teaching tarot, I was teaching elemental courses, and but I was running out of room. So, you know, basements are only so big, and I only had, room for like maybe 10 people, and it was busy then. Like it was packed. And so yeah, when I opened, that was one of the big things, was that I could have bigger classes. I have a stage, so I can have people come and give talks, and it's beautiful. And
That's nice.
before pandemic hit, we actually had a library and a tea station, so people could come and hang out and read books for free and do research
Wow.
if they wanted to. It was really cool. And then and then we had to shut everything down because we couldn't have that many people. We definitely couldn't have them hanging out. So
For sure, will be cool again.
yes, yeah. Well, I mean, it's happening, right? We've got all of these amazing people who are coming. You should come too. You should come to WitchLab and do a thing.
I will be there.
Oh, that would be wonderful. You teach a class for us on anything you want. You have so many things to talk about. You should do an astrology class.
I can do it.
That would be wonderful. So you're a Capricorn sun. What's your moon?
Cancer.
And your rising?
I don't remember in this moment. So convenient. So convenient. Um, Literally, I can't remember in this moment. Maybe it's for so much work with the clients. I was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks, yes, 2 weeks ago. I was talking about Chiron, about my
Oh yeah, because it's in
uh,
retrograde right now. Yeah.
exactly, and I was talking that my Chiron is. I think that was in Capricorn when I won, and I don't remember because this last week with the event, with the Witch Fest and everything else, memorizing the three workshops was a lot of work. So yesterday I passed all the day sleeping because my brain was really tired of so much work. And finally, I went in live. I went where you can hug people. I was tired of stay a whole year disconnected. I was anxious about it. And today, I'm not ashamed to admit I passed all day playing video games. For first time in like 2 years, and I'm not a video games fan. It's my partner who is always playing, and today was like, I don't want to do absolutely anything in the day. So I just sit down to play video games. I see your email, and I will be there. and continue playing all day. Because my brain is tired. You know, the book comes out 3 weeks ago. The event was this weekend, so I has all of these workshops and classes. Also, it has a new class coming this Sunday about Orishas, and it's online. And I has that class memorized too, because I like to memorize all my script before the class.
Exhausting.
So, yeah, it's a lot of information, but I like to be prepared. I like to have all that information in my mind because if people will pay you for the class, you need to be prepared because it's their money and you need to respect that as it's their time. So it is very important that you're prepared to give all the answers. It's very wrong when someone comes to your class and in the end of the class they have a question and, oh, when I see you again, I answer you. No, they are paying for that, not just with the money, they're paying with their time. They sit down, they stop doing other things to sit down in front of you to see this class. So you need to respect all of that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But taking a whole day, I mean, once you've already memorized it, taking a whole day to play video games, I think is a splendid thing to do. Like, as long as you're not like shirking your, calling off work or anything like that. But sometimes you just need a day to do that. So
Yes.
what did you play?
Sorry?
What did you play?
I play Dragon Ball in my PS5. I play Dragon Ball, I play Vampire, that I love it. And I play the last Ratchet and Clank, that I'm a little obsessed with that.
What was it?
Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
The new one is amazing. that was my day from 6 a.m. From 6 a.m. to now because I always wake up very early. That is a thing that I come from the military school. I always wake up so early. So from 6 a.m. I am in the PlayStation all day.
Well, I'm glad I could tear you away from playing.
Yes.
Once we're done, you can go back. It's fine.
No, I'm happy to hear that. We can talk everything that you want.
Someone has a question. This is Jason. So Jason is my partner. He's the one who runs baths for me. But he wants to know, what was the witchcraft community like for you in Venezuela?
It's a very interesting question. I always think on that. What's complicated for many things. When I come to the United States, so this is how I can compare this. When I come to the United States, here, people is more academic because you have access to books. We don't have it. Because most of these books on witchcraft that you read, I mean, Christopher Pensa, Judica Ailes, most of these books are American authors, and these books are pressed and distributed here. And these books barely go to Latin America, and when they go, it's translations in very poor quality with less pages, so it's a lot of misinformation and lack of information on it. So people here is very academic. That's bring me to things always to mind that I discuss with my friends. For one side, people is really academic. When you speak about witchcraft here, people is like, oh, I don't know, this author, Scott Cunningham says this, or Maxine Sanders says that, or in this book from this, people is wow. The other side that I see like a bad thing is that people focus so much in being academic, in collect books, in has collection of books, that they many times don't do the work. They just collect the books and they don't have the time to do the work. So they buy books just to say that they have it, and they never do the spell work. In Latin America, because we appreciate a little more the little things that we have. Oh, we have a book on witchcraft. You share your book with all the coven, and this is something that I really do for fact. When I was in there with my coven, was like, we have the new book of Jelena Dunwich. Which spell do you want to try? And all the coven make a meeting just to do the spell together, and we do that every Thursday, sometimes the Saturday, and every new moon, wherever there is, we meet together to try to spell word from some books that we have. Because in this country we have access to so much money, we collect books and we borrow books from each other. So someone in the coven buy this book, this other person buy this other book, and this new book that is coming out in 6 months, you buy it. And we bring the book and we read together. We make a reading. We try to do the spell work. So we try to take the last drop of knowledgement of every book because we have so much appreciation about it. Here, people is a little more not superficial, but they take the books like in a less serious ways, like, oh, all of these will come out. They just buy the book, they read it, and they put out, oh, I have this library, but they really never do the work. I see that many times. That for one side. For the other, here you have access to everything: herbs, flowers, crystals, minerals, oils, because you have everything in internet. You have so many options of stores, physical stores. We don't have it. So we learn to defend ourselves with 5 herbs, with 2 crystals, with a quartz, with some oil. And we just use that and a lot of praying because we don't have anything. I remember that when I was reading these books, was like, oh, people use mandrake. Oh, mandrake. Sounds so amazing. That in Spanish it's mandragora. But nobody in Latin America used that. Or people using verbena. Oh, verbena. And here says that it smells amazing. Oh, verbena smells amazing. We don't have it. We have roses all the year. It's a tropical country. We have roses in January, in December, in September. We have roses all the year, but just that. Some spices. So we learn to just use these little elements. But here people is a little more. I see this with my books. When my books come out, people was like, oh, in your book on Sharma, you just have like 100 of herbs. That's not enough. How many herbs do you need to do magic? I mean, when I grew up, people was like, the question for us is always, which herbs grow close to your home? Oh, I have this, I have mugwort, I have yarrow. Okay, you can use yarrow for this, you can use mugwort for this. That. But here people is like, oh, I have this 100 of herbs in my garden, but I don't want to work with that. Which herbs you can put in your book that you force me to go out to find and spend a lot of money for that herb? That is something that I see very questionable, but it's always funny when I see on Twitter people having these very deep discussions about how important is mandrake for this culture. And we're like, well, that's just in the United States and United Kingdom. We don't use mandrake in Spain or in Portugal or in Venezuela or in Brazil, I mean, or in Japan. We don't use it. So it's that, but it's the comprehension of the money, the financial circumstances of the country has a lot of weight on that things because we don't have too much, so we learn how to defend ourselves using the little things that we have.
Yeah.
Here is a little more about has collection of things.
I would say that we're pretty spoiled here. I mean, we're spoiled in that you can get just about everything.
I never use that word, but every time that I have this discussion with someone, they say that. They say, yeah, we are a little spoiled, and they're like, yeah, just a little, maybe, but in some ways, I'm jealous about it because when I grow up, I don't have all of these opportunities. Like, oh, you want to use these herbs for your spell work, buy it on Amazon. We don't have that in Venezuela. I mean, we don't have Amazon in Venezuela. I mean, that's blow mind. I call to my mom and say, oh, my mom called me to ask for medicines or clothes or something. You can buy that, but I don't take too much time to look for this in the store. I buy that on Amazon, and every time that we have this discussion for the last 6 years, and Amazon says that, yeah, and you need to go to a place, no, they deliver in my home. We don't have that kind of things.
Yeah.
So we appreciate the little things that we have. We learn to do like 100 different spells just using roses, for example.
Mm-hmm. You know, and this is something that we tell people a lot in the shop too, is that, yes, we have all of these herbs, but you can literally use stuff you find outside your home, right? You
can pepper.
Right, yeah. You can use black pepper. Absolutely. You can use so many things that are just right there. Like, you know, what do we say? Sticks, rocks, man, they're free.
Exactly.
You know?
I need to show you something. We have time. I think that we have time.
Oh, we have time.
Let me figure out where it is. I will come back. Here it is. This is the most powerful element in this home. Has 2 years with me. When I moved to New York, I was in the Bronx. After 2 years, 2 years ago, I decided to move to another place, and I moved to Queens because the opportunity comes. When we come to the building, they were literally doing the construction of the building. It was a totally new place, and that was exactly what I was looking for. I want a new place with totally new energy where no one else was living before. I say that to the management and everybody. I need a new place. I don't want to go to a place to cleanse the energy of someone else. because I'm very eccentric with that. And we come and I take this little rock because we have the river here next to my home. Literally, I just go to the window, it has the river in there, and it has Manhattan in the other side. I take this stone, and we were watching the building, and they say, no, your apartment will be in that building. And I say, okay, I take this stone because I really like it. It's a white stone. It was like, oh, it's nice, I will take it with me. I take it to home, to the Bronx. I remember that they say the apartment will be ready in 6 months. And after just 2 months, we were like, we need to move now. We need to give the apartment back. So where we will be for the next 4 months. Mm-hmm. And I have this stone that I have next to the bed because I was joking with my partner. If someone comes to home in the night, you just take the stone, you just throw the stone. I like that. And I literally have it next to my bed, for real.
Security as well.
It's very heavy, really. And I say that to him, and he was like, yeah, I believe that you can do it. And one day I just put some candles, and without circus, nothing, I just put the stone. I was like, oh, we need the apartment, blah, blah, blah. So I prayed to the place from where comes this stone, blah, 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 and they put the stone in the altar. We called to the person in the rent, and 2 weeks after, they call and say, oh, we have the apartment ready. We were like, oh, so nice. We called, and was a little mistake. And the apartment that they had ready, was the apartment in the other building. It was the apartment where I was working from, where I take the stone. And it's so funny because we literally sleep where we have the bed. Is the place where this was 2 years ago, was a lot of soil and earth, and in that place where is the bed now was the stone that I take. I literally take the stone from that place because they were building the place, and this place was a lot of soil next to the river and don't have columns or anything. And they have it ready in 2 months. I don't know how people can work so fast here in the United States. It's impossible to believe, but was like, wow, they have the building. The person in charge say, yeah, but you go to that building. No, but we are looking for this apartment. We discuss for this apartment because what's shipping. And they say, no, we're going to give you that you have the view to Manhattan, and you have your own patio with your own backyard, and you literally can see all Manhattan from your window for the same price. We were with the stone was like, wow, you are amazing.
Oh, you are amazing.
You will be with us for the rest of our lives. I want to marry you. This is the most powerful,
beautiful, amazing rock. Oh, I love that so much.
And it has like, my partner and I, we have like 13 or 14 years together. And when that happens, he was laughing so hard, he barely can breathe. And the person in charge of the buildings, he was like, what happens to him? And my partner was like, nah, when you marry to Elhoim, you never will be bored in your life. Never. This thing happens all the time. And we do all of that with the rock, with a simple stone that he takes from the river.
It's so beautiful. It's the best story ever. Oh, I love that.
That's magic.
That's the thing, that it's a rock that calls to you, or a stick that calls to you, and that can absolutely be the most fucking magical thing. We have questions. Daniela wants to know, can you get someone off their negative habits using witchcraft?
In my opinion, you can do it, but first of all, you need to really identify which are the bad things or negative things that you want to clean off. It's very important, because sometimes we just want to clean off because someone says to us, oh, this part of yourself, this part of your attitude, I don't like it. And we try to adjust to the environment. So it's very important that you really have clear which are the things that you want to clear, to put out. When you really are sure, oh, I want to change this thing of me. For example, in Capricorn, I have a tendency to be very narcissist. Sometimes if people, and I say this to my friends, if you don't put me a wall, I will be over you and I will control you, because in Capricorn, I am able to do that, believe me. And they don't believe me. And I say, yes, I can do it. Sometimes I have thoughts in my mind like, oh, you say this to this person, and I know I can do that. That's a bad thing. Bad Elhoim. So you need to identify things that you want to change. For example, Capricorn has a tendency to narcissism, but also we have a tendency a strong tendency to sadness. I suffer anxiety, and anxiety always conduct me to sadness. So I try to work on that. A very good time. You have two very good times to work on that. The new moon, not everybody recommended, but it's a very nice time to have new beginnings. So you want to start from zero to a new version of yourself, to manifest a new part of yourself, a part that don't have these elements that you don't like it. It's a very nice time. And I think that you call in English waxing moon, that is a period after the full moon, is a very nice period of cleansing. So try to put out literally of your home and out of your office, out of your life, everything that represents that thing that you want to put out of yourself.
Uh-huh.
Do that, try to identify it, and try to do a connection with yourself. Try to ask yourself, for example, in psychology, we have this word that is the therapy of the chair, is when you sit down and in front of yourself, you put a chair. And for example, I always has a very bad relationship with my grandma. And I try to put her visualize her in the chair. And this can be very sad, this can be very deep. And I visualize her and I say, Grandma, I love you. I really appreciate everything that you do. But these things that you teach me, these tools that you give me, these lessons that you try to teach me, this is not mine. This is yours. So with all the love and the forgiveness, I let you go. But all of this is not for me. So I put all of that out of my chest. So try to do that, visualizing yourself. If you feel more comfortable, you can try with a mirror. But I think that visualizing someone in the chair, trying to visualize yourself in the chair and trying to say to yourself, that's magic. That's real magic. Try to visualize yourself and try to say to yourself, I think that you work better in this way. I think that you are doing better without this person in your life. I think that you are holding yourself doing this with this person. So try to put out all of these arguments that you have in your minds that bother you. Try to put all of this in yourself. That visualization that you are doing is very, very powerful because you are admitting in your mind that you have some kind of problem in there. You have something there that is problematic for you, and you are representing all of that on yourself, and your mind is recording that. That will be very helpful, and it's a very good way to put things out of your chest.
Mm-hmm. So we can get rid of our negative feelings. Do you think it's possible to like change somebody else, like to get them, like to get rid of their negativity? Like, let's say your partner's very negative and would you
can always guide. It's something that you can always do. It's like this tarot card of the hermit. You see the guy with the lamp. He's guiding the path. He has his light. He don't know if someone is in front of him. He don't know if someone is behind of him, but he continue having his lamp. And it's very ironic because he's literally in the top of the mountain and he has this lamp. I mean, which way are you illuminating? You don't have any way around, but he's continue doing it. He continue putting the light in case of someone else need this guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So try to guide someone else. It's very complicated. It's very difficult, and sometimes you need to recreate in your mind the arguments for what's the reason. What are you doing this? Because this person needs to change, or because you want to change this person. That's something that we need to separate. I want to help this person because this person can be better, but is not doing it, so need a push in that direction, or I want to change this person because I am a narcissist, and I want to force this person in a different way.
Yeah, I don't know if that was what Daniela's question was, but that's kind of what I was thinking when I heard it, was, is it ethical to try to change somebody else's behavior and habits? And I like what you're saying about leading, showing by example, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I think it's tough to get rid of our own negative habits, I think, is what witchcraft is about. But to get rid of somebody else's, I think that is it can be manipulative, but also, if you truly think that you can help them, possibly by even teaching them how to do witchcraft, how to do their own practices. You don't have to call it witchcraft. You can just
Exactly.
show them self-help things, because I think that so many of those self-help situations, they really do help us. They're very witchcraft at heart, like finding out who you really are, getting into your subconscious, doing
Yes.
your shadow work, making yourself the best you can be. And channeling love as opposed to fear, right? I think that's
Exactly, exactly. And what like in the way that you say, lead with example. I mean, for example, if you want to have this relationship, for example, that you have with your boss, because your boss is the worst person in the world, you have two options. You can accept how he is, and that probably all the bad things that he does is because he's not a toxic person. Maybe he's a traumatized person and he's reflecting all of that in yourself. That happens. So many times we say, oh, my boss is a horrible person, but you don't know the traumas that this person has. You don't know how is the life of this person. Maybe they have a lot of money, but they are very sad people who live alone, who are struggling with their own family, with their own traumas, with their own things. For the other side is I decide to don't accept this situation. I decide to change it. So why I need to change this situation? I need to change the situation for me, or I need to change the situation for them, for the other person. I want to change him because I will be more comfortable, or I need to change him because he will be more happy. So it's a lot of moral ethics thing because it's a very very gray area in there.
Yeah, so much. So Daniela kind of follows up here. She says, yes, I have a friend who is showing disrespectful behavior.
So, so she's speaking about set boundaries. It's very important to set boundaries, and people many times don't understand this. But because when you put boundaries, sometimes people can, in our own arrogance. Sorry for my English. We are like, oh, you put boundaries that I don't see it before, so you are trying to put me away. No, remember that the boundaries that I put in my life is not to disrespect you, it's to protect me, it's to protect my space. I'm trying to protect myself, and for that reason, I put some boundaries in there. Because sometimes we give so much trust to people, so you give the finger and they take the whole arm. That happens. That happens a lot of times. It's very important to put some boundaries in there, speak with the person, or I believe in diplomacy. I always try to talk with the people. I don't like this. I don't enjoy this behavior. I don't like this person. I don't like this way to do the things. And I try to set my own boundaries. And when people feel like you're trying to put me away, no, it's just that in my safe space, I want to feel safe. And this situation, this attitude, not make me feel safe. Make me feel anxious, make me feel uncomfortable. For example, I have a video on YouTube. I'm starting doing videos. That's very uncomfortable. But I made a video in YouTube where I'm talking about a person who was giving me a lot of anxiety from years ago. Every time that I meet this person, was a very nice person, but every time that this person comes to me, give me anxiety. So for moments, every time that I see the smartphone, a message of this person was like, oh, this person is writing me again. What he go to tell me? And every time that he comes, every message was so toxic, was so complicated, was so, why are you doing this? Why you are doing that? Why you are offering this class? So I just set the boundary like, if you don't enjoy the things that I'm doing, I appreciate if you stay on your side because nobody's forcing you to stay here. So it's very important to put some boundaries. Mine was very extremist because the person was incredibly disrespectful with me and my belief. But you can do it in a more diplomatic way. Oh, I really don't enjoy this that you are doing in my space. Something so simple like that. Why? Because this is my space. And in my space, I want to feel safe. I have all the rights to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to feel confined. And this don't make me feel confined. This situation or this attitude of you or this behavior don't make me feel in trust or not make me feel comfortable. It's something that you need to do.
Setting boundaries can sometimes entail, well, probably always entails confrontation, and that really freaks people out. I don't know if Daniela is a person.
Yeah, the confrontation don't will come in this case, for example, don't will come from Daniela. Will come from the level of maturity of the other person.
Okay.
That's the thing, because it's not the things that you say, how the people react. So depending on the level of maturity of this person, he or she will react in one or another way, and you need to be take that situation with maturity too, and say, okay, I'm trying to set these boundaries, but I will accept whatever is the result of this. If the person is mad, if the person is sad, or if the person continues doing it, but it's the responsible thing to do. Because if you don't set boundaries now, the people who is taking your arm will take all your body, will take your space, will take your home, will take your phone.
Yeah, and it's and we have more. So she says it freaks me out because in this case she's my best friend, and that's even scarier because that confrontation could lead to something more volatile, could lead to a rift between friends. And I think the closer people are, the harder they have with setting a boundary. But I think it's even more important because that person is so close to you that they have an opportunity to do more damage, right? And so what you're saying is be upfront with them.
You can try a simple, it's like a simple spell of honesty to make this person understand the situation. Try to light some candles, try to put the name of this person in there. The candles can be white or can be blue. You don't need to do something very elaborate. Just use your mind because it's a very simple situation. So don't overwhelm the situation. That's something that sometimes we do. Oh, I want to do this spell, so we try to throw a lot in there, a lot of energy, and it's more energy that things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So try to just clarify the situation because white not just represent clarity and blue represent trust and confidence and honesty. Also is understanding in these two colors. So try to put that in the name of the person, in the name of your best friend, and try to pray in your own words to wherever is the angel, God, goddess, or Isha that you pray. I want to give understanding to this person about the situation that is happening now, because this person don't understand how is this working. So try to create. I always play with this. I say to everybody, try to be creative with your magic. Try to do things that are representative for you. Remember that every time that you cast a spell, the spell is just a manifestation of you, and the altar is you. Everything that you put in the altar, when you are trying to put the elements in there, you are representing the elements around you, and the candles and everything in there is to represent you, and the circle is to represent you and support you and put you safe. So try to do something simple for the understanding of this person about this situation, because you don't want to lose this person, but you are sure that this person can change and you are sure that this person can do better. Because if you don't set boundaries on this person now, this person will tomorrow take out the boundaries of someone else. And it's a problem that you can fix from now. It's a situation that you can take in your hands in some way from now, but you can try to do it in a very subtle way with some magic, because psychology not always is so helpful that we want. So you can try a simple spell for the understanding and trust of this person. I don't want to lose her friendship, but I need that this person understand what he's doing in a very good way.
It's beautiful and simple, and I think that's perfect. Just to draw some attention to it, right? And I like the ceremony. I like candles. I like the writing people's names on paper. I'm a big fan.
It's the most simple way of magic, and we always underestimate that. I see that many times when people is in the stores and say, "Oh, another book on candle magic or another class on candle magic." Baby, candle magic is amazing.
Yeah.
If you underestimate candle magic, it's because you really don't understand how candle magic works. You can do a simple spell of love with one candle, and this is more powerful than every spell that you do in your home, with ceremonies, with stuff, with symbols, with nasty stuff in there. You can just throw some candles in there, some incense, and this will work in a very good way, because it's how you manifest the energy there. You can just do it with symbols. You can just do it with one candle. If you have one candle, you can do it. Mm-hmm. For example, I put many protection spells in my books, but I always say to the people who are my readers, "Oh, I don't have the money or the time to go to the store and buy this quartz or to buy this oil. Throw some salt. You always have salt in your kitchen. Throw salt." "Oh, but it's not helpful." "Why do you think that it's not helpful?" "But it's not a quartz. Salt is better. Salt works better." So try to throw some salt in there. We can find a lot on salt in my traditions because in the Caribbean, natives believe that the spirits, especially when they are bad spirits, they can't cross the ocean because the ocean has salt.
Right.
For that reason, they can cross. So a way to break a curse if someone throw a bad spirit on you is try to cross the ocean. Try to go to an island or try to travel to another country. When you go there, in the moment that you put your feet in the land, the spirit is not over you because the spirit can literally cross that space because it has salt in there. Mm-hmm. That is very simple. We underestimate it because it's salt. It's something that you use for cooking.
Yeah.
It's like pepper. It's something that you can use
Olive oil.
for your
You can use
cooking,
any kind of
but
oil, right? That's in your there to like
exactly,
point candles. There's so many things in your kitchen that you
exactly,
don't.
you have everything that you need in your kitchen, but we underestimate that because it's the thing that we use for cooking.
Yeah, everything. I throw basil in my scrambled eggs for prosperity on a regular basis. But you do a thing, you say a thing. You don't just do it like it's not just adding spices. It's intention and thought and giving it a moment. You know.
Yes, something so simple like that. I teach this in my classes. In all the classes, I always try to repeat this to every student. We have three bodies: the physical body, the mental body, the spiritual body. Each one of these bodies separated in other many bodies. When you are trying to use magic, you need to try to align all of these bodies in one way. So try to pay attention to this, that is attention, intention, and action. The attention is where you put your mind, is your thoughts. I try to put my attention in that purpose, in that goal. So I'm trying to put my magic, my mental body in that direction. Your intentions is your feelings, is your spirit, is how you feel, is why I'm doing this, is how this result will make me feel. So try to throw all your intentions in that same way. And your body is your actions. It's the actions that I do with my hands, with my time, throw the sand, light the candle, put some smoke, light some incense. All of that is your action. So try to put your physical body in that way. When you align all of these three bodies in one direction, your physical, mental, spiritual body, your attention, intention, and action, all the magic go in there. The problem that we many times has in magic is that we are doing the ritual, but we have our mind in, I should be doing this for the job tomorrow, but we are doing something with the candle. So my mind is in there, my action is here. So it's a lot of work to make that these both energies go together in one direction because your mind is in there and your action is here.
Yeah, if you're doing something and you're distracted, that can definitely mess with things. Because as you were saying, and as we know as witches, whatever it is that we're actually thinking about, that's what we're going to manifest. No matter what we're doing with our hands, right?
Exactly. You need, you can do a spell in 5 minutes. So you can turn off your phone for 5 minutes. Don't think on your work for 5 minutes. Just do that, do your spell work, and light your phone again.
Real quick, Daniela says, "Thank you, wise words." So that's
Thank
wonderful.
you for the question.
So Steve asks, "You said you're a Capricorn. Does that mean you're more of a witchcraft leader?"
I can because I have a tendency to narcissist, and I am terrified for narcissist people. I'm literally terrified because I grew up in surrounded for abusers. So I'm terrified. It's my own trauma. When I identify an abuser in the moment, in the spot. I just see an abuser. This is an abuser person. I see all the signs. And Capricorn is ruled for Saturn. Saturn is this very old king who loves the rules, who loves the structure, the hierarchy. He wants that everything is in a very specific order. I am like that. I'm very obsessed with order in my home. My friends think I am crazy, but I clean my bathroom every day, 2 times a day. That is my level of obsession because I love the order. And I can be a leader because I just see how my friends look at me like, he's crazy. I don't want that my coven or my group look at me in that way because I think I know that I am very perfectionist and I can force the people many times. When I have the opportunity to go back to the tribe in Amazon to do teachings, I literally make cry some of my students. I'm not ashamed of that because they starting to do a better job. But in Amazon, the native magic that we do requires a lot of training. It's not just sit down and read books because literally we don't have books about it. All the tradition is folklore, oral tradition. You need to learn the spell words, you need to learn the prayings, you need to learn the hymns, you need to learn the language. These very old languages before pre-colonialism, you need to learn all of this stuff. You need to pay a lot of attention because you can pray to the ancestors in a different language. You need to do it in their language. And when I was teaching them, I made them cry. And they were crying, and I was the kind of person who said, okay, go to cry to the river and come back to the class. And you don't go to it today. Why? Because you are a children. You have no maturity. And this thing, we are speaking about venerate our ancestors. This is not a love spell. This is about venerate the people who died for you. So you need to take this seriously. Mm-hmm. So you want to cry, cry, but not in front of me. Go to the river. Because that's the way how they teach me. And it's bad, but I need to admit that this forced me to learn. And the new generations are more spoiled than us. They want everything fast.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, but I can do the spell word and the spell in my language. No, you can't do it because that's disrespectful with them. Because they die using that language. So you need to pray to them in that language. So when I see that being a teacher, I say, okay, I can be a leader. I admit that because I can't tolerate some disorder around. I am very exigent. I am too much perfectionist. I prefer to be in the side. Actually, I have my coven. I have two covens with who I work. One of the coven was created for me, and I put the leader in there. I create the coven that I say he's the leader, so everything is with him. I am just the right hand because I know how is my character. And sometimes in life we need to admit for which things we are good, for what things we are good, and for what things we're not. I'm not a good leader. I will make you cry. That's a love spell. You say that that's a love spell. Shame of you. You don't know anything. Where you learn in TikTok? I am that kind of person.
Oh shit!
I am that kind of person.
That was awesome. Well, I think that good teachers come in lots of different ways. Some of my best teachers made me cry, for sure. So I think that that's, evoking a serious emotion definitely means that a lesson will stick with you, right? Over one that was just real easy.
In Amazon, we have something that I say that I'm a dozer because I started do dosing very old, like 18 or 19, but years before that, I was doing something similar in Amazon that we do with rocks. It's a way of dosing that we do. That we teach to the tourists. So when the tourists are very bored, we teach that kind of magic to them. And I remember that I had this student, was she, and I need to teach her all the way, the praying, the word, the technique, the training, how you move your hands, how you do the reading, and all of that. And we started. You need to start always before the sun comes out in the morning. We start at that hour, and was like 11 p.m. and we continue working on that. And she was like, "I'm very tired. I don't care. You will not move from here at the moment that you learn to do that because if you move from here, you want to eat, you can eat here. You want to go to the restroom, the restroom is there, but you don't go to sleep because I'm here with you. I'm stopping to sleep too because this is the way how this needs to be. This is the way how we have hundreds of years teaching, and we don't go to change the tradition just because you want to sleep. You go to stay here. I don't care if you cry. I don't care if you yell to me, but you go to manage this spell." And the next morning at 6 a.m., she was an expert. And she hated me for some days, but I say, "But see, you are the best now." And now she's teaching the same things that I teach to her. She's teaching in the tribe. So it's like, oh, you see this result. Because sometimes you need to force the people. You can't just, oh, I come, I make 4 hours of training, and I go to my home to sleep and watch TV.
I don't think that good teachers come from people who are worried about how people see them, right? Like if you're worried about coming off as a bad guy, right, or too mean or anything like that, you're going to pull back on the experience for them. They're not going to get the understanding, the full brunt. It sounds a little boot campish, honestly, right? And that's
Yes,
kind of a tried and true way of doing something because it works. Because I don't care if you like me, you have to do this. It's very
exactly.
important. Does she teach the same way?
Yes, she teaches the same way, and she's amazing. And she was like, "I don't go to do this, never." And she was crying in front of me, and people was like, "Oh, well, you need to be more comprehensive because she's a woman." Something that I really always hate because I have a lot of sisters is when people may think that women are weak. So I remember that I said to her, "Now you have double work. You need to do this now." Because I don't go to tolerate that all of these people is laughing about you because oh she's a woman so she's weak so you need to be more patient. No, I don't go to be more patient with you. And I remember that the next day when the song was coming out, she was very tired and I was very tired. Any of us was taking us for days because we don't bother any moment. We was training all day. And in the morning, she was prepared. She was doing amazing work. She know all the names, all the prayers in the native language. We do the ritual with the people who come because we have a lot of tourists in Amazon. And when they come, she was saying everything. I was like, wow, I made that. I am so awesome sometimes. I am awesome. I am so wow.
Wow.
And she was hating me. And she would look at me and she was treating me with silence and everything else. I was like, I don't care. She did a very good job and I'm proud of her. And 1 or 2 years after that, I traveled to Amazon again and she was teaching. And she was repeating exactly the same words that I said to people. And I was like, you see, this works.
So what I'm hearing is that you're a very good teacher because you're kind of a hard ass, which
Maybe, but I'm very exigent.
it's good. I like
They
that
make
very
cry
much.
people, and everybody's like, you are making them cry. Yeah, but they will learn. They will be very good witches.
Okay, so this is an interesting segue into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is so you have this little inspirational quote, or maybe it's very poetic. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a poem at the beginning of chapter 12. And you're like, look how far you've come in this book and in life. Keep going. You're just getting started. Right? It's such a lovely thing to say. It's such an encouraging, beautiful, like, okay, you got through all of my stuff in the beginning. Here's the rituals, right? It's almost like, don't stop.
I write that quote. I don't go to cry here in front of the people. I don't go to that. But I write that one day. You know, these last years, I respect the government stuff. I don't have any problem. But these last years with the other years with the other government was totally stressful, especially because if you see Americans being stressed about it, imagine how we're feeling the immigrants. Especially when you are a legal immigrant, when you have your paperwork, when you have everything in your side, but people continue treating you in so many bad ways, and you are receiving less money for your work, and the lawyers are so expensive, and it's so much thing to do, and I was so stressful, and I was having so at the moment I was having 2 jobs and writing the book. And I remember that I sit down and I called to my mom just like, because this is very, very narcissist or very arrogant, but I was like, if I call her and she told me how bad is the thing in Venezuela, I will feel better, probably. So I need that. It's an awful thing to do, I know, but I was so stressed that day, I was crying in the work because I was like, I can't believe that I made 6 years of the college. I speak two languages and I am here being a dishwasher in a restaurant for a person who literally don't end the first grade and they speak so bad and is so awful person, is so unkind and is so arrogant. And I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I was in the bathroom, I started crying. I called to my mom, we speak about anything, about everything, and she told me, so you will go back? And it was like, so I passed these last 3 years here, and now I just go to throw everything because one person is unkind. No, I don't go to do that. Sorry, I don't go to do that. And I just wash my face. I just say the phone. I go out. I continue working, and the boss was like, "Oh, you go back? Yeah, I'm working." And I continue doing my stuff. So when I go when I go back to home, I was working in a restaurant in Brooklyn, and I live in the Bronx. So the travel was very disconnected. It was like 2 hours and a half every day just to go, and 3 hours in the night to back. We closed the restaurant at 1 a.m., so I was in my home at 4 a.m. It was so stressful, and I was so irritated that day that I go back to home to the computer, and my partner said, "You go to sleep. I can't sleep in this moment of how stressful I am." I sit down in the computer and was all the page white, was totally white, nothing to say. I was trying to write a spell for something, and was so stressed, so I just write that. I was like, I write that, I feel better, I drink some water, I take a shower, I go to sleep, and when we were working in the book, I put that, my editor was like, I don't understand why you put this here, but it's nice, keep it, please keep it, wherever it takes, keep it. If you need to throw everything else, I don't care, but keep it. It's very representative for me, and I'm sure that someone else, when he's reading the book, will have in a similar situation in any moment of their lives, and they will see, or they will think, if this immigrant who barely speaks English can do it, I can do it. So keep it.
Well, it was surprising, and so it was just such a calming, lovely acknowledgement. It's an acknowledgement of how far you've come. Look at you. This is so great. And it's wonderful, right? And you're sharing that with other people and helping them feel good, through that. I love your talk about abundance. And when we have abundance, the best thing we can do is share that abundance, right?
Yes.
Knowledge, uh, money, things, experiences, everything. Just keep it moving, keep it going. Once you have a lot, put that out
Yes,
there.
don't see abundance like something negative. Just remember, if you have abundance in your life, if you are an abundant person in whatever aspect, you have a lot of money, you need to be careful about what abundance you are asking for because abundance can be a lot of things. So abundance can be abundance of illness or abundance of problems. But if you ask for abundance, yeah, that's abundance because abundance literally means a lot of
Lots of
something.
stuff. Yeah.
A lot
Lots
of
of
stuff.
something.
So, oh, I can have abundance. I have abundance of problems or debts, for example. So
Right.
you need to clarify which abundance you have. And when you feel that you have the abundance that you want, that you are an abundant person in a financial way, I'm not saying that you need to be millionaire. But if you are doing well, you have your work, you have your apartment, you have your car, you can put your children in the school that you want, you can buy the clothes that you like it. You can go one time a week or a month with your partner to eat something good. If you feel safe, if you feel comfortable, you can share that abundance with the people that you love, with your friends, with your family, with your nephew. Maybe your sisters come to you and say, "Oh, I don't have money for this," and you can say, "Oh, don't worry, I got your back." That is how abundance should work. And you can do it if you are an abundant person. But if you say that money is bad, money is wrong, and I don't want money in my life, you continue repeating that because you have taboos about money and you have a bypass that because you are spiritual, you don't need money, you are not able to help the people who come to you for help. So the day of tomorrow will come your mom or your husband or your partner or your children and say, "Oh, I want to do this, or I want to take these classes, or I need this money to pay my rent." And you know what is sad when these people feel so ashamed to ask you for something and you say no. So it's very important. Try to use this and try to share it with someone else. Knowledgement, magic, abundance, love, compassion. Try to share the good things that you have.
Yeah, what you were saying before about somebody having the money for something, but being afraid to spend it because of fear, because they need to make sure they have it in case something happens, as opposed to, like you said, giving it to, giving it out to people who need it, helping where you can, as opposed to living in fear and, just making sure that you have enough, even though you already have enough, right? It's that
Yes,
fear on top of that, right? The avarice. I always think of the Four of Pentacles, right? With the guy who's like,
exactly,
it's all mine. You can't, because
exactly.
it's out of fear. I don't even think that's selfish. I think it's fear, like, well, I finally got it. I can't, like, but, and what I try to remind people when that card comes up is that you have to keep it flowing, man. Like, you can't just be a dam for it. You have to
Yes,
keep.
because actually that card sometimes is that we have the illusion of a balance, and we are literally taking our own medicine and oh, I think that this is balance, but it's like sometimes I make this example when we speak about tarot cards. It's like the woman who is pushing in her face every time for her husband because she don't assume or she don't know that he is abuser, but but he has a husband or he's punching you, but he has a husband.
Right.
Or he made you happy, but he has a husband, and other people don't have it. So it's that illusion that we keep for someone else, that illusion of perfection, the illusion of we have something, but
Security. It's an illusion of
exactly,
security.
but it's just an illusion. You are not really in balance in there. For that reason,
Right.
you are trying to keep it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that it's sad because they are living in fear and they are cutting themselves off from growing, from moving forward to maybe finding a husband who's not a jerk, you know?
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of the spells that you have in there. Uh, I am a sucker for bottle spells, and the sorceress bottle, where is it? Sorceress bottle, where is it? I don't think my notes are right, but I'm gonna look it up real quick because I know it's where it is. Um, I love this spell. Yeah, the sorcerer's bottle for money. That's why
Okay.
I got confused because I like just kept putting what I was thinking after that. I love this. I think it's amazing. And I think bottle spells are one of my favorites. And I love that you added that you have to put something personal in it. You know, you got to put hair or nails or spit or pee or whatever.
Yes, it's very important. I remember that my grandma one time said that quote when I was very young. She said the altar is you. So when you because I was asking to her something about how put the candles. My grandma, she's like me. She has a very strong character. She's like, this need to be in this way. She's like that, and she said, try to represent yourself in the altar. So it's like when you make
Yeah.
the bowl for abundance. Sometimes I visit to my friends, and because they know that this is my area of expertise, they are like, oh look, my bowl of abundance with rice, with coins, with stuff. And many times they have it in a corner, very dark, for months, covered in dust. And I say to them, this needs to represent you. You can take the ball of abundance that represents your life and throw in a very little corner, very dark, inside of your home, and covering dust because you are covering all your abundance, all your money, all your prosperity in dust. So when that happens, you're starting to have troubles in the work. You're starting to feel like you receive a lot of money every month, but you don't know what is happening with your money. At the end of the month, you're like, I make so much money this month, but I don't have anything in my bank account. That happens because you are literally doing a spell on yourself to feel abundant, but you are also putting yourself in the corner, in the darkness, below the dust. So I say to them, try to represent this like you shower yourself every day. Yes, so put some oils and some perfumes from day to day. Some oils if you don't want to use perfume. Try to buy some sandalwood and throw two drops in there every week or every 3 days and try to move the rice. And every time that you take it, oh, this is me, this is my abundance because my abundance and my money flows to me every day, and I feel so grateful for everything that I has representing and manifesting in my life every day. Try to do that in the same way that you shower yourself. Try to shower your abundance every day. With the bottle, I did the same. Try to
You're
represent that
shaking. Yes.
you. Just try to symbolize you in that way, and that little piece of hair that you put in the bottle represents you. So everything in the bottle is some kind of energy that you are trying to mix with yourself in there.
Hmm. I love it. Thinking about making sure that you do your maintenance on it. If
Yes,
it's a long-term spell, if it's something that's kept as a reminder, as a talisman kind of a thing, something that is supposed to remind you, is supposed to be working for you, and you forget about it. Some magic is for that, right? So like sigil work, stuff like that, you set it and forget it. But if you've got something in your house that is supposed to be working as a constant, whether it's like an altar, like a ancestor altar, right? Something like that, keeping it clean. You know, Jason Miller again, he was like, "Don't put your mail on your altar." Just it's not a side table. It is a place to be, dusted and kept looking nice and keep it maintained so that you keep that connection with it, so that you don't
exactly.
it doesn't just become a something you don't see anymore, right?
Exactly. Oh, the altar is where you do your spell work. So try to keep it like you are. Try to keep it clean with some nice perfume. Try to keep it organized because it's a representation of your life. I always say if you have disorganized altar, you have a disorganized house. If you have a disorganized house, you have a very disorganized life. If you have a very disorganized life, it's because also you have a very disorganized mind because you have a lot of things here. So you need to clean your mind, you need to clean your altar, you need to clean your life, you need to clean your house.
And I love the thought of putting oils in it. I think that scent reminds us, like I was saying with the bath oils and stuff. One of my favorite things that I had on one of my altars was a container that held rose water. And every time I passed that altar, I could smell it. And it reminded me that it was there. And it reminded me that I have this connection to it. And I absolutely loved that. And it kept me to fill it. Like it kept me on track to keep taking care of it because that scent reminded me every time I walked by that it was there. And so I think that having those, putting the sandalwood in, in the rice and stuff, I think is such a lovely way of keeping us aware, keeping it in our awareness. I think that the more we uh, are aware that our magic is real, and that the thoughts we have are real, and that they have effect. You wrote something in here that I absolutely loved. I have so many marks in here. So, and this is, I'm just going to read this so everybody can hear it, because you all need to have this book. But this is for the little magical gift just for you, right? With these are the 8 extra spells that we get. Um, be aware of what you're expressing. Why, what for, where does it come from what emotion, from what need, from what circumstance. Manifest consciously, like be aware, that's what we're doing. Uh, uh, Aleister Crowley, right? He said, we're doing magic all the time. We might as well be aware of what we're doing.
Yes.
So I just love that. There was another one too. Oh, the prayers. That's what it is. Be aware of what you think. Be aware of what you say. Be aware of what you do. Be aware of what you learn. Be aware of what you teach. Be aware of what you repeat. Loved that one. Be aware of what you manifest. Be aware, be conscious of your mind. I love these reminders in here that you keep bringing us back to, you have to be aware. You have to be conscious of your decisions, of your goals. Even when you were talking about before, like with Daniela's question about negativity, what is it you're really trying to get rid of? Really think about it, really break it apart. I think this is the hardest thing for people with starting to do manifestation magic, right? Like, well, what is it I actually want? Because when you get
Exactly.
down to it, it can be really tricky. How do
Yes,
you see the world? What do
it's that's very important. I put here that it's essentially a book of money magic, like people is saying. I just try to take it to take this a very deeper. But for example, many times we find these books full of spells for money magic. It's so many spells for money magic, but we don't really know what do the spell. We just take it. Oh, I will do this spell for has more money. So how do you are trying to manifest that? I mean, try to clarify in your mind. You are trying to have a raise in your work. You are trying to find a new job. You don't have a job and you need a new one, or you have a job but you are trying to change it, or you have a job but you have an obstacle in your job, like for example your boss or some colleague is not helping you in the work. You are trying to win the lottery. You are trying to sell something that you do in your home. How are you trying to bring money? Because this is a money spell. But how are you applying that in reality? I mean, from
right?
where will come? Which is the source of the money? Or the source of I have a job, but this job I don't like it, or I don't receive the payment for the work that I'm doing. You think that if you keep that job, you will receive more money? No, because they don't have money to pay me better. So what do you need? A different job. Yeah, but I don't want to continue doing the same job. Perfect. You need a different job in a different area. Okay, now we can try to work on that. So try to do this spell work like where you are doing your curriculum. Try to put your curriculum in your altar with some candles. Try to put that. Try to make some spell in your curriculum and try to give your CV to the companies where you are looking for job. Trying to use your mind. Trying to be a little smart. Sometimes smarter than the people who write the book. That's important.
I think we're all trying to be smarter, right? That's why I read a book every week.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. Now I have publishers are throwing books at me, like in a whole way. I get boxes from Llewellyn of uncorrected proof books all the time, and it's tough because I want to give each one of them all of my time, but I only have so much time, so it's tough.
That is a fascinating job.
It's wonderful. I love it. I love it very much. I am not complaining, but I seem to have attracted a lot of abundance.
Yes. Maybe too
It-
much, maybe too much.
I because I think about books constantly. I have so many books. I'm always right now. I'm reading one, two, three, four, five books. And that's normal. but and then I have to fast track them, right? Because I knew I was speaking with you tonight, so I needed to make sure I read your book before tonight. I have Brian Cotnoir in 2 weeks, so he's next on my fast track list. So
Wow, it's a lot.
it's a lot. And sometimes I find it difficult uh, to retain it, right? To keep it all in my head. But I think that there are certain things that really ring for me, and things I'm going to take from your book specifically, um, the the prosperity, the balancing, and how that's different from money or abundance. Prosperity is not the same thing. It is because I'm a big believer that balance is what we're all working towards in magic. It's literally the goal of every magic practice is to bring balance to your life, balance between the masculine and feminine energies in us, right? Between the shadow and the light side, to to find that medium thing. Like even if you're doing like Kabbalah work, you're always trying to balance and bring it to the middle, right? Mercy and severity. It's the point of all of it. So your prosperity quote just rung true for me in a whole way, that the prosperity comes when you are balanced. And
Yes, no, something that I see too much, really too much, when if you are in Amazon or if you are or if you travel to Peru or Guatemala, and these people who go to do ayahuasca, these rituals or cacao ceremony or tobacco ceremonies, that we are very good on that. But the thing is that many times when these people comes to this worship, because and I listen this so many times, staying there is, oh, it's because I feel broken, and people is like always, oh, I feel broken, I feel depressed, I feel sad, and they do this is that because they think that we are the ointment that we go to put together something. And you are not broken, you just have an imbalance in some part of your life. So this ritual just go to tell you to another state of consciousness, of mindset, where you can see with a different perspective. Oh, this is the things that I am doing from my past life. This is the cycle that I'm repeating. So you try to balance that now that you know it, because you are not broken. You are just having imbalance in your life. It's like uh, love spells. I like to analyze always the love spells because I find it so interesting how people make this kind of uh, spell working, spellcraft, just to have someone around, and finds like, oh, just to have someone, but people feel unloved. Someone unloved feels horrible. Feels like nobody wants me, nobody desires me in life, nobody's there to make me happy, because we grow up listening that you need to have someone in your life to make you happy. It's,
mhm,
it's an important part. So it's a lot of psychology in those spells. And many times love spells come from imbalance. Sometimes, and I see this many times with my clients, when they comes to you to do a love spell in a very specific person, I noted that many times it's not because they really love the person or they really desire this person. It's because this person represents something very strong. For example, some person who is an assistant in a company, and this person wants to do a love spell in the boss, who is the president of the company. But it's not for the money. And when you make a reading with your tarot cards or with your Ouija or whatever method do you use, you know that the person is really in love of the boss. It's not for the money. But sometimes it's love, but it's not love for the person. It's love for what represents this person. Sometimes the assistant is a person who feel unloved, who feel unhappy in his family, who feel frustrated. Probably her mom is saying it over and over, you need to bring a husband, someone successful, someone with money, someone with a car, someone like your boss, because look your sister, because look your brother, all of them are married and you don't have children. So they are in love of the conception. They are in love of the idea to have someone of power that they can have next to them and say, oh, I am the person with the boss, so now I'm not just the assistant, now I am practically the CEO of the company, so everybody in the world will give me the validation. So they are in love of the idea to have this person next to them, but they confuse that love with I am in love of the person.
right.
It's an imbalance in the end that they have in their mind, but they don't comprehend that because nobody sit down and say that to them.
hmm Yeah, love spells and people who come to us for love advice. you know, because we don't do spell work for people, but we will teach people how to do it for themselves. But oftentimes when it comes to love spell stuff, you know, I have warnings, you know, for them. Like, have you thought this out? You know, what is, you know, this, you're also dealing with somebody else's free will here. Um, we had one woman who had come in over and over. She spent a lot of time in the library. She spent a lot of time with Judika Ellis's book. She was writing down recipes and things, and she came to us with first off an ingredients list, and we were like, okay. And then she came to us wanting us to make certain oils for her, which I also do. Like, I'll make oils for people. And it was like, okay, um, okay. Uh,
You know the signs. You know which is the direction of this.
but yeah, I knew what she was doing, but she also didn't ask me for my advice. And so I just let it go. And when I saw her a couple of months later and I was like, so how's it going? You know, did you ever do that thing? And she was like, no. She was like, the after I saw how you guys reacted to it, I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about what might be wrong with it. And she's like, I realized it was wrong, and I couldn't do it. So without even, uh, you know, her even asking or anything, us just kind of being like, okay, was enough for her to think about it on her own, and then not do it. Because then she was like, man, I don't want to be tied to that guy forever. Like, there you go.
That
Now you're thinking.
happens. Love spells are difficult, are complicated, but it's tell you so because money spells tell you about the need of the people. Love spells tell you about the psychology of the people, what they are looking for. Many times that is not related with money. It's
Wow.
approbation, it's validation, it's love, it's feeling happy, it's have childrens. You see a lot about their lives in there. And I think that we all has that phase. I made love spells when I was in the military school over one of my colleagues in the school and works very well and was a simple spell. It has 14 years when I did it. Was with an apple and some cinnamon. I remember that put some honey and the name of the person inside of the apple and throw with the cinnamon inside of the apple and cover with honey. Um, put some blood and hair and my hair grows very fast. So for me it's like, "Chah," but because we grow very fast. And I make all of that. I don't remember what I did with the apple in the end, but works very well after months. I mean, I was in a year of school. I made the love spell. We go to vacations in the summer. I was like, oh, this really never works. And the person in who I made the spell, we literally never speak. But I was obsessed.
Uh-huh.
And when we go back in the next year of the school after the summer, this person starting to have so much kindness with me, was so close to me, was looking conversation over and over. But when that happens, I was like, oh, I don't know why. And oh, I did that. Wow, this was late. But it works. And I really don't remember what I did with the apple. I really don't remember that, but I remember the rest of the spell. Um, take me a lot of work to redirect the energy because it's like you can cancel it in some way because it's difficult. So I just try to redirect the spell. That for that I have the help of my sister because I have a lot of sisters and I am the youngest. So when you speak about love spells in home, all your sisters are like, "Oh, tell me everything." And I say to them, and one of them immediately jump like, "Oh, I want to do this. Let me teach you how you do this redirection of the energy, so the person will not will forget you, but lost interest and redirect that interest in a most positive way in a different uh, path." And what's funny, and I noted that I started to notice that kind of sign. Sometimes we are like, I'm so in love with this person. I dare to do this spell for this person. Months after that, I mean, literally just take the vacation and just forget this person. When was talking me, or like, why you're talking to me? Oh, I remember. Now I know why you're talking to me.
What's funny is that you were so interested that you did a whole love spell and then kind of lost interest. And I was like, Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was the vacation. It was literally the we need time, but in an involuntary way. I just go to vacations. Was summer, and when I go back to the school to start the next year, was like, why is looking at me? Why is talking to me? You know that I was speaking with my colleagues of the college, and after weeks talking and talking and talking, I has a little like coven, a little group of three persons with who I
Yeah.
always was speaking about spellcasting, because the military school was all day, all the week inside of the school. We sleep in there.
Mm.
So I have my little group of people with who I talk about it. And I remember they was talking, oh, but you didn't remember that you made this spell? What? Oh, I did it. Oh, that explains so much. Oh, wow, this works very well, late, but well. And and I don't feel more for that person. But when I was older, after that, after some years, I noted, oh, I did this spell work because what represent this person was someone in older than me, another school year than me, was a very popular person. So and I was bullied in the school because because I speak very weird, because I come from I speak Wayu, and the Wayu they teach me to Spanish. So I was speaking with a different accent, and people treat me very bad. And I was always thinking, if I am with a popular person in the school, nobody will touch me.
Mhm.
But I forget that in the vacations. Immaturity.
You forgot your the reason for doing it.
Exactly. But it was a very nice spell. I can assure you that.
Well, it's a very successful spell.
Yes, really was, really was. It was just, I mean, take like 3 or 4 months. But I'm telling you this, and I promise, this person, when I was obsessed, this person literally never says nothing to me, probably don't know that I exist. And when the spell is starting to work, the person comes to me with any excuse to speak with me, comes from the other side of the saloon. And it was in another year. I mean, we were totally separated in the school, and comes like, oh, I go to be here, or you want to sit down at this table with us? You know, older children than you in the school, very
Wow.
normal. And they were like, yeah, I can do it. But was what represent the person, no was the person.
That's impressive. That's crazy. I love to hear stories of spells that work. That's my favorite thing. Like people are like, well, I just did this thing. I threw some cinnamon and some stuff in an apple, and here I am.
Works.
I love it. It makes me so happy. I think that, and I think that you have to be, like you said, being open to have your magic work in the right way, right? So that you bring things towards you that you are actually looking for. Sometimes we're looking for acceptance at school, right?
Yes, yes,
And we call it love, strangely enough.
exactly.
Elohim, I want to tell you that you're amazing, and I have loved our time together. I
I
feel
never
like I
thought you're pretty amazing.
thank
I
you.
am now obsessed with you, not to do the spell, but I'm obsessed with you. I'm fascinated with your work, with WitchLab. You know all of these books, you know all of these authors, you make all of this space to bring people together. It's amazing.
I love it. I love it so much. WitchLab is it started as just a small products company, but with the store and the classes and people like you, it's really turned into something much bigger. And I just feel so honored to be a part of all of this. Authors and publishers and you know the thing I love about it is that we are talking about now. We're talking about thoughts people are having now after we've all read, Cunningham and all these things, and we've all done that. But now we're talking about ideas now, right? Current stuff. And I love this. I love this part of my job. As much as I do get sick before every single show because I have horrible anxiety about people looking at me. But it's totally worth it because by the time I get in it and I get talking, I don't even think about it anymore. And I love the conversation. And someday we'll do this live on the stage. A couple of microphones.
Yes.
Yes. So you've promised. It's on the books. It's recorded now that you're coming.
It's a promise.
And that'll be soon. So tell the fine folks how they can reach you.
Okay, my name is very complicated to spell, so look how it's writing in the screen. It's writing very well, and look at me on Twitter and Instagram. I am in there practically all day because I like to see pictures. I love pictures. Take me to different places. I am in Twitter, I am in Instagram, I am on Facebook. Sometimes when I am in very good mood, I upload some material on YouTube, but essentially I'm on Twitter and Instagram, my books and on Amazon and in your favorite bookstore. Try to support your local bookstore, try to go for your bookstore. If your bookstore don't have the book, reclaim that they have it. And send me the link of the bookstore. I will call immediately. Why you don't have my book? You don't want me? And after that, try to support your local stores. Essentially that. And everything that is in the book, try to put in practice. All the ingredients, materials, crystals, system, all of this is in the bookstore. So it's very nice because when you buy the book and when you want to do a spell, you can go to the same bookstore or the same botanica or the same store and buy your items in there and has a very nice relation with this place, grow the magic in there. It's very nice. It's less plastic than Amazon. It's very comfortable. But when it's about magic, it's a lot of energy there. It's the contact, you have all the stones and the flowers, and you take something with your hand and you say, oh, I want this crystal. Oh, I don't like this one. It's very heavy or something, or I don't like how it looks the color. It's all that energy in there. So try to support your local store, try to go there, try to find my book there, reclaim it, and buy your items in there. And be kind.
Oh, that's lovely. See, guys, I told you. It's the sweetest person. So kind, so sweet. I love this. I listened to a couple of interviews with you, as part of my research before we would come on together. And that, coupled with the way that Judica speaks about you, I was sold. Super sold. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me, really.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on. This has been wonderful. And you will be on again next time you write a book.
Obviously.
Or even just if you want to.
And before, you just call me.
Yeah.
I am there.
I will. Thank you so much for being on the show. You are lovely. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Brian Cotnoir. Bye.